Manscaped is here to up your body grooming game. Manscaped has the revolutionary electric trimmer, the Lawnmower 3.0. It's cordless, it's waterproof, and it's guaranteed not to nick or snag your nuts or your chest because you can use it upstairs and downstairs. So go to manscaped.com, use code HRU for 20% off plus free shipping.
What happens when someone has an anal scene and there's like feces? Like, I know this is gross, but I'm like, what do you guys, like, I feel like I'd freak out. Like, what, when something gross happens, like, what does the set do to kind of manage it and maintain a professional environment? Like a porn blooper, I guess. I'm trying to ask that, like, in a sincere manner, not like jokingly in a trolling way, but like, cause that's like the one thing that like freaks me out about it. It's just like, we're all human and we have gross stuff that comes out of our bodies. Like, how do you deal with that around strangers or fellow actors and performers? So that's something I'm curious to hear about. But I'm sure it's been discussed. I've heard a lot of your podcasts. Maybe I missed it. Okay, thank you. Just keep doing what you're doing. My email is...
Okay, yeah.
I was like, wait, what? Huh?
Yeah,
she was adorable.
She's super adorable. Yeah, we don't need the rest of the world contacting her. Well, let me tell you about my poop situation.
Yeah, all of a sudden her thing's just blowing up. Yeah. Her shit is just blowing up.
Oh my God. Well, thank you, Ellen, for that question. It's happened.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? I don't know. And Monique, obviously, you're probably a better person to answer this question because you're the person who's actually in the physical
bodily
the contact situation. But for me, it doesn't really freak me out because first of all, I'm jaded. I've been in this industry forever. I've seen it all. And I also too feel like we're kind of like this big family and we understand that these things happen and we know that people are human and we know that that sometimes accidents occur and I mean, look, it's not like someone has ever like literally like blown diarrhea all over the wall or anything like that. If that happened, I might be a little bit concerned, but you know, there's been like,
I'm sure some guys have some pretty crazy stories about some girls doing that to them. I am not one of those girls.
Cody Steele actually has I think it was Cody Steele had a really good story about that. But what do you think?
That was like obviously my biggest fear, you know, with doing anal is like pooping on somebody. I'm like, I don't want to shit on anybody. Yeah. So for me, like for what I do is, you know, everybody's different. Everybody's bodies are different. So for instance, what I do is like, I stop eating the night before at a certain time and I don't eat until the scene is over. Mm-hmm. And so like the night before, like I clean my butthole out and I don't use like an enema with the actual stuff in it. I empty that out and put water in the enema and do that. And then I do it and like stretch out my butt that night. And then on set, you know, they give us time to do that as well. I have worked with some girls because not everybody likes to douche. Mm-hmm. And I know it's not healthy to douche all the time, but sometimes you have to, especially when it's porn, you have to because nobody wants to see all the cream. Yeah. And I've had some girls that have, you know, smelled pretty bad, but it's all about tact. Mm-hmm. I actually have a really funny story from Earl Miller. Oh, this is a good one. Brand new in the business. Okay. So one of his assistants, he always used to gloss up your pussy. Yeah. So he had this little thing and his assistant would come in and you'd be like, you know, all contorted or whatever. And he'd come in and he'd gloss up your vagina and gloss up your butthole.
What did he use?
It was probably like a lube, but he had like a Q-tip or whatever and just to make it look shiny. Yeah. And so I remember this one time, I'm like, you know, it was like probably one of the first times shooting with him. And no, it was probably a while because I was actually a little bit more comfortable. Mm-hmm. And his assistant was like digging in my asshole. And I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, I'm sorry. You have a little poop in your butt. And I said, oh my God, it's a beauty mark. I have a beauty mark in my butthole.
Oh no!
But I was so embarrassed because it's before I ever did girl or anything. And I'm like, this guy's like thinking I have that I have poop in my butt. And I'm like, I was so mortified, but I'm like, no, it's a beauty mark. Then he looked and he's like, oh shit, you're right. I was like, oh my God.
Oh my God. Okay. That is 100% happened to me too, where I've looked at a girl and same thing. She had a mole or a beauty mark and from far away, I can't fucking tell.
Right.
And, I pulled him aside. I'm like, do you have like a mole or like, you know what I mean? And then there was this one girl that I shot, this European girl and there was something up with her pussy lips. It was kind of weird. Like they got real dark at the end.
Oh, yeah.
But like real dark, like more so than others. And she looked like it looked from far away like dried blood.
Oh, no.
And I was like, you need to wipe. And then like she did, and it was the same. And I was like, oh, shit. And then she told me, she was like, my lips just look like that. And I was like, I'm so sorry. But it's like, you don't want to not say anything and then be that case. And then,
Right. So I it happens. All the things happen. You get the, the girls that start their periods or, that's happened to me where, and that's what, hi. By the way, if you're on your period, you still got to go to work.
Yeah.
Even as a stripper. I remember when I was a house dancer and I asked the girls, I go, so when, this is before I was in porn. So I was like, so what happens when we're on our period? Do we like not have to work? And that girl started laughing at me. They're like, girl, you just tuck the string in. And I was like, oh, they're like, either tuck it in or cut it off. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. No problem. So then it happened. And so I cut it off, right? Couldn't get the tampon out.
Oh, no.
And I had to have my ex-boyfriend come over and take it. He got it to like one level. This is before porn. Now I could care less.
Yeah.
Because being in porn, you're so jaded and you're so used to seeing that shit. Yeah. Like when we have to shoot scenes and wear sponges when we're on our period, like I'll make the guy dig it out because I call it sponge diving because they'll shove it so far up.
With their penis
that I can't get in there and get it. Yeah. So then I'll like go in a pile driver so it opens it up and I make them fish hook it out. But yeah, it's just so normal for us. I'd be more embarrassed with a civilian, with somebody who isn't in porn, but we're just so used to it. But if I pooped on somebody in like real life, I'd be like, oh my God.
And it's happened. I was shooting an anal scene once and the girl had done an enema, but I think like not all the water had come out.
Oh yeah, I've had that happen. Or she enema too much in her butthole, so there was like water in there. I've had that happen.
Yeah, and so like when we were doing a position, she came up and there was a little bit of like, and I think it was mostly just like brown water.
Yeah.
And she ran to the bathroom and like freaked out and wouldn't come out for like 20 minutes. And I was like, it's okay. And the guy was like, dude, it's fine. Like this happens. I was like, it's okay.
It's so embarrassing. Like I can't believe I'm going to tell you guys this right now. But when we were shooting the finale for Browser's House, 2, I had never done a DP. So I was like, I'm going to win this shit and I'm going to do a DP. Right. So it's Kieran and Xander. Kieran's on the bottom. And Xander's on the top. And Xander's in my vagina, basically. Kieran's in my butt. And we're doing it, and I shit all over Kieran. I was like, oh my God! And because they're filming it, I'm like, oh my God, I'm wiping. I was so embarrassed. But I was like, thank God it was him.
Yeah.
I was like, if I could shit on anybody, thank God it was Kieran. That was the worst. So now I'm because when you're in a DP, it's like a whole nother level of like letting yourself go.
Yeah.
And I didn't really think I was going to do anything like that in that. So I wasn't as prepared, I guess. I didn't, I ate past a certain time, type of thing and whatnot. So I refuse to because I don't ever want that to happen again. Yeah. But I'm glad it happened to Kieran. His wife, Kirsten Price, is one of my closest friends.
Yeah.
So I was like, yo, I shit on your husband today. She's like, fuck yeah.
Like, I've always wanted to do that.
So I can't believe I just told you guys that.
That's awesome.
But that was the only time, but I'm not gonna lie, I was so embarrassed. She's like, Mo, it's fine. It's totally fine. I was like, thank God it was you. Like, thank you, Jesus, it was him.
So Ellen, to answer your question, it happens. Yeah. And we just kind of roll with the punches. Yeah. And it's just like one of those things.
It's like you just sweep it under the rug. You clean it off and you get back on.
Sure, you just get right back on that horse.
Yeah, pretty much.
Manscaped is here to up your body grooming game. Their Lawnmower 3.0 is a revolutionary electric trimmer that will not only not nick or snag your nuts, but can also be used on your chest hair. If you get it in the Perfect Package 3.0, it will come with a bunch of liquid formulas to keep you feeling and smelling fresh all day. And for a limited time, you can also get a free travel bag and anti-chafing boxer briefs that come with it. So go to manscaped.com, use code HRU for 20% off plus free shipping.
Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the show, make sure that you subscribe so you don't miss a single episode. And go check out all the other videos. I film every single one of my podcasts. And if you want to listen to the audio version, I'm on iTunes and all the other podcast platforms. Visit hollyrandallandfiltered.com to find out more.